I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you'd already know that the title of tonight's show is A Quiet Truth. And this truth can be something that you can be evaluating within yourself. This quiet truth is about you. And that is because it's related to a fantastic total solar eclipse we are having at 12 degrees of Sagittarius on Saturday. Now, a year ago, we also had a total solar eclipse in Sagittarius. But this one is different. This is the one that takes what was beginning last year, a year ago, and has transpired over the year, and now we are in a position to evaluate what the last year was like. And since you may have been having to face daunting problems in the last year or two during the time of the pandemic, this may be a total solar eclipse that signals a quiet time when the truth comes to the surface about how you have changed in the last 2 years, particularly last year. And armed with that quiet truth or gentle realization that you have changed, this solar eclipse can promote a deeper understanding of what your values are and what is important to you today. Because when we face tough problems, and we get through them even though we are completely unprepared for them, but still we face them and we handle them one way or another, it tends to boost our self-confidence. It means that if we can get through those problems, we can get through other problems. And that can be a signal that we're ready to go on. And so this can put you on a higher path, this solar eclipse. And it's coming at the end of the year. It's December 4th, this Saturday. And so it can be helping you see how much you've changed. And this is just a very good time to admit that you have changed. And of course we all have. So, we're all in the same boat. But the thing that has changed the most, I think, is our values. We each have different values, and they can sometimes change according to what stage of life we're going through. But as we look at our values, some are not as important as they used to be, and others have become more important. And now you have the time to evaluate just how you feel about certain things, about your family, about your friends, and about your future. So this is a very inspirational solar eclipse, and it should be putting us on a higher path. It should be helping us go forward, but not backward, not back to the same old thing, or doing something the same old way. It isn't that we don't love our traditions, we do, but it's that when you're facing death, which is what the pandemic was representing, or the potential for it was representing, it simply means that you can be looking at life and love and understanding how precious they are. And that's probably one of the ways that all of us have changed. Realizing, some things are more precious than they used to be. Or are what we value. Maybe we were just going along not thinking about something, and now we've got the time to reevaluate things. And some things can be more important, and some things you can let go. And so this is a new moon solar eclipse that is a little bit unusual because it isn't backed up. In other words, it's in Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, and it's a mutable fire sign, and it rules the traditional ninth house of the higher mind, and of religion and philosophy, and of the courts, including the world court. And it rules judges everywhere in the world. It also rules international organizations and people from foreign countries. It rules long-distance travel, what Sagittarians love to do. And it rules reasoning in a benevolent way. In other words, Sagittarians usually, at some point in their life, do a lot of thinking about what is for the greater good. And they're able to sort of sort that out in their minds and really think about it. They can be, Sagittarians can be very serious thinkers. They don't always discuss everything they're thinking about, but they're doing it anyway. And so this solar eclipse is not fortified. There's nothing in the sign of Aries, and there's nothing in the sign of Leo to back it up. But I want to assure you there's absolutely nothing wrong with this solar eclipse, because let me tell you, it is amazing that one half of your chart is absolutely loaded with planets, and the other half of your chart is empty. And that is because this solar eclipse, with the sun, the new moon, and Mercury all conjuncting each other in Sagittarius, is surrounded by it's a total of 9 planets that are in 5 consecutive signs. And, they're all in the neighborhood. And so this is a solar eclipse that's just, it can form links to a lot of other things that can be important to you. That is why I'm saying that this is a time of when you can quietly come to some inner truth or gentle revelation about how you feel about things right now. And it's a very honest, true evaluation of your feelings, about your friends, about your future, and about your family. Things have changed. You have changed, but everybody else has too. And so this solar eclipse is just getting a lot of help. It begins with the fact that these 9 planets are only in 5 signs, but they're 5 consecutive signs. So the activities in one sign spill over into the activities of the next sign, and it just keeps going. And it begins with a planet that is behind the solar eclipse. It's Mars. Mars is in Scorpio, right behind the Sun and the Moon and Mercury in Sagittarius. And Mars is at home in the sign it rules. It's very strong there. And it is trining Neptune in Pisces, which has now gone direct. So, and Neptune is also at home in the sign it rules. So this solar eclipse in Sagittarius may not be getting any support because there's no planets in Aries or Leo. But oh boy, does it have a strong planet right behind it. And it would be operating for the good, and Scorpio is a fixed financial sign. And so as you are reevaluating what you're serious about now, and how you've changed, and how precious some things are to you now, if there is anything where you are hoping for a little bit more money to help you with something, you might get it because Scorpio is a fixed financial sign. There may be some more money around behind the scenes to start something new. Sagittarius rules higher education, so it rules four-year colleges and universities and graduate school and professional schools. There may be some money around for that, if you're serious about going back and increasing your skills and going to school. So we have Mars in Scorpio right behind, fortifying that new moon in Sagittarius on Saturday. And then The Sun, New Moon, and Mercury are there, and Sagittarians are deep thinkers, but Mercury is a fast planet, so they can be thinking about a lot of things right now and communicating quite well. Mercury is a communication planet. So there can be a lot of talk and plans about long-distance travel over the holidays. That could be a real big thing this holiday season. But then right in front of the new moon are two other planets, and they are conjuncting each other. And they are Venus and Pluto, which are now conjuncting in Capricorn. And Capricorn rules our career. It rules the traditional 10th house of career. And your reputation in the community. And it rules commitment, particularly over a long period of time. So it also rules the rewards that come with a long period of service. And so it rules retirement and pension plans. And so because Venus is conjuncting Pluto, a planet of powerful truth, and one of Scorpio's rulers in Capricorn, right ahead of the new moon, it simply means that one of the changes, since you have changed, and one of the changes you may be seriously considering is a deeper commitment to your career. A deeper commitment to something that you're thinking to yourself, I've always been serious about this, but now's the time I better get real serious. And the reason why, once again, is because when somebody faces death or the threat of it, then life and love become much more precious. And if your goal is to advance in your career in a way where you may be able to partner with a prestigious organization in order to achieve a goal, that is entirely possible. Venus is a planet of partnership because it rules Libra. That's what Libra rules. And Pluto is a planet of powerful truth and generally rules management in large corporations or government agencies. So you may become more deeply committed to a career choice, and you may be able to partner with an organization that is prestigious or other people who can help your career along. So that's possible. Then, ahead of that, are two more planets. Remember I told you they're all in the same neighborhood. And another two planets are in front of them, the ones in Capricorn, and they are Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, the sign of the future. Now Saturn is a malefic planet, and that planet and Jupiter are squaring Mars in Scorpio and Uranus in Taurus. And those are the three malefic planets. Jupiter isn't, but the other three are. And so there can be some obstacles to your future plans. But because you've changed, and hopefully you're sort of going through a quiet time of admitting it, you still may be able to become more patient and dedicated to a goal in the future. Aquarius rules invention. This could be a time when you're thinking, oh, I really want to get working on this invention, see if it would pay off. Well, this is a good time to do that. Because remember, the planets in one house are feeding their energy into the planets of the next house, and it just keeps going along. And then, after you get through the two planets in Aquarius, there is Neptune. That is the 9th planet. Okay, so there's 9, between Mars and Scorpio and Neptune and Pisces, there's 9 planets, all being involved in one way or another, most of them sextiling that solar eclipse in Sagittarius. So this is a time for you to get serious. And this is a very good time to be having a little talk with yourself. And we have all been taught different values when we were children. And possibly we need to see if we're upholding those values. Or is there something else that we value? And what about our friends? Do they uphold them, those values? And also, in our future, are we upholding those values? So you have to get a little bit serious about how you want to live your life for as long as it will be. You know, it's in the future. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe there'll be another offshoot of some other germ next year. So we've got to get pretty serious about what we're doing here, because we don't know how long we will have to do it. So we have to cut out some things, because there's only 24 hours in a day, and become a little bit more serious about some other things and about the people we care about. So that's sort of a quiet truth that we all have to come up with in one way or another. Because once you admit the truth about what's in your heart, you are taking responsibility for it. Because what you're defining is what makes you a good person. And that's what you should be living up to, doing your best and being your best. Because I think that's the way you'd like to be thought of. And so this is a really good total solar eclipse that could sort of get us on a higher path. What does that mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Aries. Well, Aries, this is a really good new moon total solar eclipse for you because it trines your sun. And there's 3 planets there, the sun, new moon, and Mercury. Now that won't be until Saturday, but it means you're going to have a pretty good weekend, Aries, which is great. And you may be thinking about a long distance trip, and that would, or there could be people coming from a long distance to see you. And that could work out really well, Aries. There is also the possibility that in one way or another, regardless of what your age is, you may be feeling that there isn't a lot of time left for you to do something very special that you have your mind on. It might be a hobby. It might be developing a new talent that you have and taking it in a new direction. It might be that that your family relations have changed in one way or another, and you have to adjust to that. But whatever it is, it will be for your uplift, Aries. I mean, this solar eclipse is trining your sun. It's really one of the best aspects that you have had to your sun sign all year. The fire signs didn't get a lot of help this year. But this one is going to really boost you up, Aries. So I hope you decide in a quiet way to ask yourself or re-examine how you feel about your friends and your family and your future, with the idea that you realize you've changed. Okay, they may have all changed too. And so I think you want to do what is not just pleasing for you, but what is right and good. And it may involve you being more personal in one. That's why if you are developing a talent of yours and sort of commercializing it, say you're a painter and you want to paint more and perhaps even sell your paintings, but you'd be getting a message out that is within you. And that's what creative artists do. They sort of speak their own language and use their talent to do it. Maybe that's something you would really enjoy, Aries. But so however you're going to use your talent, this solar eclipse is going to help you do that. So congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Taurus. This is a time when the 3 malefic planets are still squaring and opposing each other. In fact, there are 4 planets in the fixed signs in this harsh T-cross right now. And of the 4, 3 of them are the malefic planets, Mars, Saturn, and Uranus, which is in your sign. And so your finances are not all going as smoothly as you would like, Taurus. But you know, it may be due to a situation that is out of your control, that you have nothing to do with. It's sort of like you just have to sort of wait for other people to catch up right now. And they're not doing it. But you know, everybody's moving at their own pace, and it is the holidays, and the winter weather is not always great, so there can be delays from that. So I hope you develop a little bit of patience, because Taurus, you are very lucky in one respect, and it is that Venus is now conjuncting. Venus is your own ruler, and it is now conjuncting Pluto in Capricorn, and they're both trining your sun, Taurus, which is very good for you. It means that that alone can, that conjunction can put you in contact with a very prestigious organization or government agency, and somebody pretty high up in management that may do you a favor, Taurus. They could. This is a time when you could get promoted. Now, I'm not saying tomorrow or anything, but it could be coming up, say, after the first of the year. Or you could make some other big step, sort of a concrete one. Capricorn rules retirement. If you're deciding to retire, that will work out really well too. So try not to become frustrated or impatient about delays, particularly that are in other people's hands, because you cannot speed them up, Taurus. So don't even frustrate yourself that way. Instead, look forward and concentrate on your career right now. And even if you are retiring, concentrate on whatever the next step is, because it could turn out to be rather lucrative for you. In other words, some of your investments could pay off, or else you could rearrange your money a little bit according to new tax laws so that you're protecting it a little bit better. That could help you as well. So good luck on that. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Gemini. This is a time when, Gemini, I think you're going to have to step back and reevaluate and come up with some sort of quiet truth or some honest revelation about some changes that you may need to make in order to attain something that is on a sort of a higher plane. You know, it's sort of up there. It might be prestigious, might be some honor that you want, or a promotion. And the reason why you'd have to work on that, to step up to it, is because the solar eclipse in Sagittarius with the Sun, Moon, and Mercury, which is your own ruler, are all opposing your sun sign on Saturday and Sunday. And I mean, the sun's going to be in Sagittarius for a while. The solar eclipse is only at 12 degrees, so it's going to be there for a while. And it will be continually opposing your sun sign, Gemini. And that means, you know, if you're blithely thinking, oh, well, the pandemic's over, now I can go back to doing what I was doing before, you are making a grave mistake. Nobody can go back to the way it was before. It doesn't mean that we're lost in the future. What it means is that the future can open up for all of us, and that includes you too, Gemini. But the problem is that you have to sort of live up to higher rules, or begin to practice things that are obedient to the laws of the land. Now, that doesn't mean you've been disobedient, but what I mean is that as you try to strive for a higher position or for more accolades or honors, you can't be doing what you do at this level when you're up here. You have to rise to the occasion. You have to be what other people expect you to be if you want to rise higher. And you know, in your quiet truth, have you Realize that, Gemini? That you've got to trade in some of the things that are comfortable for you if you want a better or higher role. You'll have to trade in things that are easy for you for a couple of things that are, or some more things that are harder to live up to. Now, if you think you can do it, I say go for it. But you have to be honest with yourself first. You know what's comfortable for you. But none of us knows how much time is left. And so what we need to do is get quietly serious or very truthful about how we've changed and what our values are today. And if you're aspiring to a higher role or a more public role, your sign rules the public. But if you are aspiring to something where you're out in the public and a lot more, just remember, first of all, that makes you a greater target. So can you live up to the role? That's the question. And if you think you can, if you're willing to take the restrictions of higher expectations that people will put on you, then go for it. Because you have Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius trining your sun. And Jupiter's going to move on December 28th, but Saturn is trining your sun for 2 years. And it is the planet of hard work, but it's also the planet of reward. That's why I'm saying, can you live up to where you want to be? And are you ready to do that? And that will require sacrifice. But within 2 years, you could be there. You have to pay for it, though, Gemini. You can't be just the same old casual person. Because when you're out in the public eye a little bit more is demanded of you. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is a time when I think you can be feeling as if you've got your second wind. You could have, Cancer. And the reason why is that they're the only two planets that are at home in the sign they rule are Mars in Scorpio and Neptune in Pisces, and they both are direct and they both trine your sun. For one thing, since Neptune is now direct in Pisces, there's going to be a lot of truth that is just going to be spilling out now about covert activities behind the scenes or things that were hidden behind the scenes. Oops, that's going to be coming out. And so you could be saying, because Cancers are very perceptive, they're very sensitive, and they sort of always have their feelers out. They know a lot more than people think they know. And so when the truth comes out, you could be thinking to yourself, oh, I knew that all along. And you could, because you may have put 2 and 2 together and figured a few things out about the secrets that people were keeping, or things that were hidden behind the scenes, or just covert activities. Anybody's covert activities. And so Cancer, your sign is the sun sign of America. And so I think it's America that is going to be finding out a lot of truth. But because your sign is a cardinal sign, and it rules the home, and it rules endings, which Cancers do very well, and it rules the last half of life, which is generally much happier than the first half of their lives, I would say that you could be coming into a pretty good time, but I would want to define that by saying that a pretty good time means a productive time. In other words, it's nice to go to holiday parties and to enjoy the Christmas spirit and everything, but somewhere along the line you've got to put in some pretty intense training or education in one way or another about something you're really serious about. And that is because you've got so much power behind you, Neptune in Pisces and Mars in Scorpio. Mars will leave Scorpio on December 13th. You really have between now and December 13th to get the ball rolling on something, Cancer. And I think it would be according to how you've changed and how badly you want to live up to the values you have now. And so it means that you've changed enough that you can reassess the actions of your family members or of your friends, or you can be looking towards your future, and you can be looking a lot more seriously at that future and who is going to be in it. And I would say this is a good time for you to be very serious, Cancer. And Cancers like their comfort, and they like their home, and they like good food. And if you've changed, I don't think those things have changed. Those are your basic values. But if you've changed in your assessment of others, then you're going to have to sort of change how you treat people now, or what people are going to take up your time, and who are the others that you are not going to make time for anymore. You have to decide that, Cancer. But this is with the goal of being more productive. And you just can't do it all. And nobody can go back to the way it was. But that's okay, as long as we admit that we've all changed. And you have, but then so has everybody else. And so this is the time to be true to yourself. And to realize, that happiness lies ahead of you, not behind you. There's more happiness ahead of you. Particularly now, when you have so much backup. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Leo, just like Aries, this is one of the best new moons that has come along for you all year, Leo. And that is because the Sun, the new moon, and Mercury in the Sagittarian Total Solar Eclipse on Saturday are all trining your Sun, which is wonderful, Leo. It will give you a big boost. And so that big boost could take you on a trip, particularly a long-distance trip. Or it could be that you're welcoming friends and family members from far away. Maybe they're coming to visit you. But whatever it is, it's going to be very pleasurable, Leo. I think you're going to have a nice Christmas. I think that you will be very busy. You could be going a lot of different places. That would be okay. You'd like that. And also, your popularity would increase. You could be getting invited to some pretty nice parties. That would be nice. But just remember, it isn't about parties right now. It's about a quiet truth that we all have to face about where we are today and how we feel about our relationships, our family members, and our future. And so this is an excellent time for you to be talking to others about your future, Leo, planning your future. You should be thinking and doing something about that. I don't mean that you can complete your goal, but what I mean is this is a good time to talk to other people to try to solidify some steps that you can take after the first of the year to achieve your goal. Now, Saturn is going to be in Aquarius for the next 2 years, opposing your sun sign. Uranus isn't moving at all in Taurus. It will be squaring your sun sign for the day. It will be squaring your sun sign until 2025, actually. So things won't be as easy as you think, Leo. And that's why, no matter how popular you are, how much fun you want to have, you've got to carve out some serious business days when you decide that you've got to take these certain steps or make some very good contacts with people that can help you get something new started. And the date for starting just starting the effort, not the planning, but actually getting it underway, would be this summer, when Jupiter comes into Aries temporarily in the summertime. Right around your birthday, that would be a real good time to have a kickoff on something new if you can. That isn't that far away, so you have to be pretty busy, Leo. Don't party too much, because you've got a lot of preparatory work ahead of you in order to get something new off the ground by your birthday. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time, Virgo, when you benefit long term, but in the short term, which would be, I would say, the rest of the holiday season at least, you can be undergoing some delays. And the reason why is, first of all, during the holidays, things just slow down because other people are busy. They've got to do things too. But actually, the sun, the new moon, and Mercury, your own ruler, on Saturday will be in Sagittarius under an eclipse, and they will be squaring your sun, Virgo. That's what I mean by you may be facing some delays. Some of these delays could involve matters at a distance, because that's what Sagittarius rules, far off countries or destinations. And so you could have some problems with matters at a distance. There's also the possibility that there can be some people that are in your work area, and they just feel that they're 10 times smarter than you, which isn't true, by the way, but they're going to give you the impression that they think they're 10 times smarter than you and want to put up roadblocks just to slow you down a little bit. I don't think you can get around them, and so I think you're going to have to just realize that it's going to take you longer, since you're working with people that are actually not up to your speed, but they could be your boss. And what can you do about that? You just have to go along. So in that respect, things are going to slow down a little bit for you. And then the other thing is that Neptune has now gone direct in Pisces. That's a big deal, really a big deal. And the reason why is that it opposes your sun sign, but it's direct, meaning that things that you thought were a little funny, didn't quite add up, or seemed strange, they could have been more than that. They could have been criminal. And that is because with Neptune going direct, a lot of secrets are going to come out. And you may be disappointed in somebody when you learn the secrets. So you'll just have to live with that too. So anyway, remember I said that long term, you're going to be okay. And the reason why is that Venus is now conjuncting Pluto in Capricorn and trining your sun. Well, Uranus in Taurus is trining your sun as well. So that's 3 very strong planets that are pouring their energy into your sun sign, Virgo. So long term, particularly financially, Taurus rules investments, you're going to do okay. In fact, more than okay. You'll do just fine. And your career can advance. And the reason why is you may know some higher up people, or else they know of you and they like what you do, and they could decide they want you on their team. And that could work out very well for you. And so if you get an offer or an invitation from people that are a little higher up or a lot higher up, clear the decks and say yes, Virgo. It could mean quite a bit to your career and to your retirement. Think about it. Otherwise, you're just going to have to put up with some delays. But that's the way life goes. And the important thing is that if you are disappointed in learning the truth about somebody, just remember it's probably better to know the truth than to keep kidding yourself. Because when you kid yourself enough, pretty soon you're the one that's in the dark. And that isn't a good place for people to be. So the truth is better. And the disappointment won't last forever. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Libra. This is a time when I would say that you could probably enjoy the comfort and the flow of the holidays a lot. And the reason why is that your sign is somewhat removed because from what's going on in the rest of your chart. And that's because there's nothing in your sign, Libra. But right ahead of your sign is Scorpio. Well, Mars is there. But actually, right ahead of your sign are 9 planets in 5 different houses consecutively that are all sort of piggybacking on each other and moving matters forward. But your sign is just sitting there empty, Libra. And all of this is going on ahead of you. And I would say that's going to give you a pretty nice, relaxing holiday. You know, everybody's going to be out doing their own thing, making plans for the future, hopefully taking a little quiet time to admit a quiet truth about how they've changed. We all need to do that, including you, Libra. But I think you're going to have a wonderful, calm holiday season, and that it will be aided by the fact that Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius are trining your sun. And if you wanted to use your quiet time this holiday season to get better organized so that you can take on some additional responsibility after the first of the year, then this would be a good time to do that. You know, even if you were sort of thinking of going back, going to work for just an additional day or two, or maybe just working part-time or something like that, you got to get ready for that. So that would be a good thing for you to do. Or if you're just deciding you wanted to sort of begin a new career path and just take small steps, now's a good time to plan all that. So I don't think you're going to get caught up in the frenzy of different things going on because there just aren't any planets in your sign, and 9 of them are ahead of you, and they're all very involved in what they're doing. They're not going to look back and ask you, you know, what you're doing because they're so involved in what they're doing. So I think that's going to be good for you, Libra, just to sort of quietly enjoy a peaceful holiday. And in that way, you too would have changed. Because if we all think about last Christmas, which was still tense and bothersome, and then this Christmas, which is more relaxed, then you can see that, you know, this is more your style, Libra. This is more of what you like. And so I think you're going to have a pretty good holiday season. Congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Scorpio. Remember, Mars is in your sign. It's your own ruler. Your other ruler is Pluto, and Pluto is in Capricorn, being conjuncted by Venus. Woo! Is romance in the air, Scorpio? It could be, but perhaps with someone older or someone who's more prestigious, because Venus and Pluto are conjuncting each other. That's very nice. But anyway, they are sextiling that Mars in your sign, which means your rulers are very happy right now, Scorpio. And on top of that, that Mars is trining Neptune in Pisces, so it's got a lot of backup, and Neptune is direct now. And so this is a time when you are going to be learning the truth, or since your sign rules justice, there can be some important justice that's going to be done. It won't be done to you, Scorpio, but you may have a hand in seeing that it's done to somebody else. There's nothing wrong with that. And so that's to the good. So it's also, since Neptune is direct and it rules dreams, that if you've had a sort of a secret dream that you have not been telling people about, then, this is a time when you could sort of get the ball rolling, or you could realize that dream, at least in a small way. You could start realizing it, because Neptune is trining Mars in your sign. Mars won't be in your sign after December 13th, but for right now it is. And it's trining Neptune, which is good. And Venus and Pluto in Capricorn are sextiling the Mars. Well, Venus and Pluto in Capricorn are also sextiling that Neptune in Pisces. What it means, Scorpio, is that you are well connected to something pretty important. You're well connected. In other words, you're well connected because you know somebody who's pretty high up in an organization, or you have an affiliation with a prestigious group. Maybe you work for them, either now or in your past you've worked for a prestigious organization. Or it can simply be that a dream comes true that you had hoped would come true earlier, but now it does. And all of that is predicated on just one thing, Scorpio. And it's the same for everybody. Now is our time, particularly with the new moon total solar eclipse right ahead of your sun sign in Sagittarius on Saturday. Now is the time to admit a quiet truth. And whatever that quiet truth is, it involves a revelation about how you've changed and what your feelings are now, and how you feel toward your family and toward your friends and toward your future. And if you've been searching for answers, you are certainly going to find the answers, Scorpio. And so your searching days will be over. You'll get those answers. And then it's up to you, as it is for all of us, to see if we can be at our best. Live up to our best. Live up to the values we learned as children, the good ones, and go on. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Sagittarius, congratulations. The total solar eclipse is in your sign on Saturday. And remember, it's not the first one, it's the second one. Because last Christmas there was a total solar eclipse in your sign too. And that would have set you up for wherever you are now, despite a little pandemic interrupting everything in all of our lives. So Sagittarius, whatever you decide to do is going to be the right choice. And you will rise to your highest good. I think you started that a while back, maybe last year, maybe when you were a child, maybe before. But you are going to rise to your highest good. And, if there was some special calling that you feel you had, or some special talent that you could use to sort of help the world in one way or another, this is a time when you could set that in motion. And if you had been thinking of very complex issues, legal issues, if you have been thinking about the laws of the land, which are all in our Constitution, and you had been, looking around at the way things are today, the first thing you and everyone else has to do is admit that they've changed. This pandemic has changed us all. So we're not going to go back to the way it was, because we're not going to be the same people we used to be. Hopefully we're all going to be better. I think so. We faced a bad deal. Well, it didn't get us. We got it. I mean, we go forward. All of us. And Sagittarius, anything that you can do that would help us all see how to be more compliant with the laws we've made. If you could explain that to all of us, or if you could work toward that goal, you'd really be helping out. Or if your desire is to help people from foreign countries, or you would like to travel there, or you would like to get an advanced degree in the area of your own interest, you could do that. So whatever decision you're going to make after a quiet truth that you admit about how much you've changed, as we all have, I am convinced that your choice is going to be a #1 winner. Whatever you're about to do or would be initiating next year, you know, the effect of a solar or a lunar eclipse is for 6 months. So any time in the next 6 months, you could be making a pretty enlightened change. And it would do you a world of good. But I already know it's going to be perfect for you, Sagittarius. A real winner. And I don't think it has anything to do with how hard or easy it is, but how right it is for you. That's the important thing. That it's got to be really right for you. And I think it will be. Sorry that I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know where you're going, Sagittarius, but it's going to be the right thing. And you don't need to doubt it. It's going to be a winner. Congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Capricorn. Well, there's a lot of light right behind your sun sign, Capricorn, because that new moon, total solar eclipse on Saturday in Sagittarius, is right behind your sun sign. And Venus is conjuncting Pluto in your sun sign at the time of the eclipse, which is great. And, you know, Venus is the faster of the two planets. Pluto will be in your sign for years to come. But Uranus and Taurus is trining these two planets in your sign, Capricorn. And so that's awfully good for you. It just means that there could be a new level of respect that either you have for yourself and your talent, based on proven work you've done. I mean, you know, there's real proof to back it up. Or else it can be that you get some recognition from others who are in a prestigious organization, or who really believe in whatever you're doing or whatever you want to do. You could have a plan to start something, and there could be other people that are pretty interested in that, Capricorn. And some of those people would be pretty high up in a prestigious organization. And that's who you need to partner with, Capricorn. You know, I've always heard, you know, that old saying, start at the top. It doesn't mean you start at the top. It means that if you need somebody's attention, or you need their permission, or you need their feedback for something really important, try to ask somebody that's really high up, who has the authority and has the experience, and they have nothing to lose, so they're going to tell you the exact truth. I don't know if you'll like hearing it, but they'll tell you. And that's That's what you need, Capricorn, is you need to understand that this is a time when you can really advance. Now, if you're a person that was thinking of starting your own company, now's the time, Capricorn. First of all, it would be very easy for you to do that. Somehow the bookwork would just get done in the blink of an eye. And then you do have the organizational or the administrative skills to put together a workable organization. That's because your sign does rule administration. You just naturally are good at that. And so, Capricorn, this is a time with that new moon, right, solar eclipse, right in the background of your life, when you could start something new behind the scenes, so to speak, and it would have tremendous potential for outreach. Remember, Sagittarius rules far away things. And as long as you're going through the internet one way or another, you could reach a lot of people. And so I think you're going to be successful if you are, first of all, taking a look at yourself and how you've changed, and who is important in your life and who no longer is. And, how do you feel about that? And how do you feel about your future? Capricorns are very steady workers. So what if you retired? What are you supposed to do? Sit in a rocking chair for the next 30 years? I don't think so. That would not make a Capricorn happy. Capricorns like doing things. So Capricorn, really think maybe of a new career. Maybe just a part-time career. But make contact with other people and get their advice. Okay, and even if it was only temporary, at least you would be fulfilling things that you're born for, which is steady efforts. They don't have to be grand and glorious, they just have to be steady, because that's what you do so well. So think about it, okay? Lots of opportunity there in the background. An eclipse is important. It's not just like a new moon. It indicates a new beginning, and the effect is for the next 6 months. So just keep that in mind. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is a time when you can be very, very busy, Aquarius. And the reason why is that there's just so much coming up from behind you, Aquarius. Remember, I said there's 9 planets in only 5 signs. 1/2 of everybody's chart is packed with planets, which means you can be very, very busy in that area and nothing going on in another area. But for you, Aquarius, you can be very busy right now. And your sign has Saturn and Jupiter in it, and they are sextiling the new moon in Sagittarius on Saturday, along with the Sun and Mercury, and then Venus and Pluto are right in between them, and then Neptune in Pisces is right ahead of your sign. You got a lot of things going on around you, Aquarius. And let's just say that they all represent possibilities. Lots of possibilities. So I would say, Aquarius, if you don't like one thing, just look around. There's going to be another possibility. And I think that you need to be somewhat alert. You have to, if you get a hint of something that becomes available, you do need to act on it very quickly. And that is in order to sort of be first in line. So you got to try that out. And then also, it's possible with so many planets, these 9 planets are all direct. There's no retrograde planets except Uranus in Taurus, which is the 10th planet. But the 9 planets in only 5 houses here, they're all direct. And so that means Jupiter and Saturn in your sign are direct. And Jupiter's leaving on December 28th in 1 more month. You really have to think carefully about expansion. That's what Jupiter represents, expansion. And, you know, if you want to make a change, Aquarius, this is going to be a good time to do it. And I would say, since there's a lot of things slowing down during holiday time, if I were you, I would just go forward and make the first step of a change. Go as far as you can. But, you know, there may not be anything decided until after the first of the year. But I would say if you have your eyes on something better, let people know it. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And so this is a time for you to move on, Aquarius. Even if you just kept the same job, but you took on some extra responsibilities and a better paycheck, that would be great. So I would say plenty of possibilities around under this solar eclipse. And you should really take advantage of how compactly these 9 planets are in only 5 signs. Because almost all those planets sextile your sign. The only one that isn't sextile your sign is Mars in Scorpio, and it is squaring your sign, and Uranus in Taurus is also squaring your sign. So there's still hang-ups about money, and that's why you should look for more possible opportunities. You know, be quick. Be quick off the mark now, Aquarius, and follow up. It can't hurt you. Just follow up on whatever you hear right now. It could be very good news for you. And you should do that all the way through December, as long as Jupiter is in your sign. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Pisces. This is a time that, you know, you can be somewhat relieved now, Pisces. And that is because Neptune has finally gone direct in your sign. That's great, because it's been retrograde for months. But now that it is direct, and it's being trined, and Neptune is your own ruler, and it's at home in your sign, and it's being trined by Mars in Scorpio, and that's the ruler of that sign, and it's being sextiled by Pluto in Capricorn and Venus as well, and Pluto is Scorpio's co-ruler. It simply means that there's more money around for you somewhere, Pisces. Or there is the possibility that there is going to be some sort of advancement in your career, or at least you're going to be meeting some pretty prestigious people. Or there can simply be, if you're wanting to start a new career, you could hear quite a bit about it, and the money could even sound good. But the problem is that this solar eclipse squares your sun. It might be awfully hard to make a change right now. I would wait on that. Don't do that before Christmas, because the sun, the new moon, and Mercury in Sagittarius are squaring that Neptune in your sign. And those are the lights. You can't get by that. And so even if all you were doing was sort of planning your long-distance traveling, that could work out really well. You could travel, but to make a change, in other words, to make a move, not this month, Pisces. It would be too hard, and that's due to a lot of things. It's due to the fact that it's the holidays, and people would be very unprepared, including your own family members or your friends. So just realize you've got a lot of power to do what you want, and there can be some more money coming your way to help you do that. But when we're talking about the timing for a change is not now, not with that solar eclipse squaring your sun. You just would be better waiting until after the first of the year. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show and read our blog on our website, starborninstitute.org, or you could watch the show if you subscribe to it on my Karen Campbell YouTube channel, and I'd be happy to send it to you. So thanks a lot. I'll see you next week. Bye.